Alright guys, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this last hole drilled and tapped in the end of this rod for our welding table, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and try to get this thing built today. So we're going to start with this, just do a simple drill and tap on this end for an eye bolt, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting this thing together. I want to get the floor swept up good and start putting this thing together, and hopefully by the end of this video you're going to see a fully built rotary welding table before painting. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start off and do some good old-fashioned A-bomb 4-jaw indicating. Get it trued up. I haven't trued it up yet. Steady rest was still set for this rod. I haven't used it since then, so that's good to go right there. That's showing and indicating in a little while, and many of you say that you still enjoy seeing it, so let's get her in there. That's that end kind of jumping around on the rollers there. It's what I'm doing. I've got it pinched wrong is what's going on here. So I've got some wider soft jaws and narrow soft jaws, and it's not equally biting on it. So let's just fix that right now. I'll show you what we'll do. I've got 4 more right here, and these are all pretty well equal lengths. Equal cut lengths right here. So this will help us out some. Take one out at a time. Make sure ain't no dust on it. Put it even with the chuck jaw there. Just go around all 4 and we'll do the same thing. Last one. Alright, now we'll come back in here and indicate it and see if we can get a little better reading. See that? It's not jumping around now. Jaws are pulling down nice and square. They're not working against each other. Looks like maybe 2 or 3 tenths. I think that's close enough. We're going to go old school today, and we're going to use our standard drill chuck again, just because I think it's kind of fun to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just shoot a 17/32 drill up in there to make a hole. That's our tap size for 5/8. Gonna get it opened up here. There we go. I just got a line on there drawn where I want it on as far as depth goes. All right. All right, another way that we could do this is basically just power tap it. That's what a lot of guys like to do. Chuck the tap and just run it up in there. I want to show you another trick that I do. It's not as fast as power tapping, but it comes in handy every now and then. I'm going to go ahead and put my spring-loaded center up in here. I think I might have clamped a little too hard back there. There we go. All right, we got to reposition. We'll be right back. All right, what I'm going to do is use the tap handle. And by the way, this is one of my good flea market scores there, Greenfield number 6. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of oil in the hole and go ahead and just put a little bit of oil on the tap to get it started. Get the spring center up in there. I'm just going to give it a few turns to get it started. By the way, I am using a starter tap. You could also use a plug tap for this. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just turn on the lathe. I got it in low gear. We're running about 45 RPMs. And you got to use a chuck wrench. Obviously, that's going to clear right here. It's going to swing. Okay. And the way I do this is just kind of use my fingertips and the palm of my hand. That way if it gets tight, you just let go of it, okay? I do this trick a lot in the Acroturn lathe. I like to keep plenty of spring tension on it, so I'll just let go and I'll run the center up in there a little more. And it should be getting real close to the bottom. All right, it started getting a little tighter, so I just let off of it. Yep, that's it there. I just drilled it deep enough to go to the full threads on the tap there. All right, so we'll go ahead and move this spring center out of the way. And what I'm going to do is just run my bottom tap up in there now. And I'll just do that by hand, but that's about it right there. I'm just going to get my little needle tip and blow that out good. And I might hit this again with some Scotch-Brite, just kind of brighten it up one more time where it runs on this bushing. And we're going to be ready to go. Need to hit this again. It started getting a little bit of surface rust right there where I didn't have oil on it one time. Well, I did a final polish right here on the bearing journal for the bronze bushing. I just polished that up again, brighten her up, did a little polish on the face there, and it's ready to go together. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to sweep the floor again and start from the ground up. I've got a cherry picker outside that I can bring in and set up, and that's what we'll use to pick the shaft up and also get that faceplate picked up there. So let's get to it. All right, well, I've got the floor nice and clean and vacuumed, so it should be kind of as free as dust as I can get. I'm gonna have to lay down on the floor. So I'm getting ready to bring the base plate over right now, and we'll continue to go from there. Got my parts laid out here. The one thing that I did forget to do still, even up to today, is get my cap head bolts I need. So I'm going to have to end up using these hex head bolts again, which is fine. But where the ground clamps, the straps come around on the back side, I don't think there's going to be enough clearance there for the head of a bolt. So that one location, I'll probably stick this bolt up in there and use it there. But this is just a mock-up, and we're going to see it all together. So let me go ahead and get this and bring it down here. All right, this will be the first time that this is actually on the floor here. So, and what we'll do, we're probably going to use this area right in here, and I'll probably move the camera down here closer so that you can see things, okay? So, it's a little stout. Okay, we got the, I'm going to try to do everything where you can see the ground on that side. Oh, by the way, I did put 2 of the caster locks on there that Stan gave me, so that once we get it all together, I can do some test rolling and see how it does. Okay, well, we're going to find out how that'll work. So, let me get the tube and we'll get that on there. Alright, here we go with the center tube. And I did some wiping down there on the table to make sure the dust was off everything. Just wanted to check the bottom here again. I have not put the seal in it yet. Not going to do it until this thing goes together. You know when it goes together for the final time, that's when I'm going to put that seal in it. I'm not really worried about the oil dripping for right now. We want to see how everything's going to look. So, all right, all that's nice and clean. So, there we go. Now I got to get out on the floor and get the bolts put in it. So let me get set up for that. All right, buddy, I'm going to use your little floor mat right here that you give me. And let's see if we can get this sucker started. That was quick. I didn't expect to start it that fast. It went right in there. Leave that one loose. All right, the hole that's going to have the cap head will be on the back side of this. Let's see if we get this next one started. It started. All right, Allen bolt will be on the back side here for your, so that our ground straps will clear. And I hope I got it deep enough. That might be too long of a bolt. Let's find out. I think we got her though. Oh yeah. Okay. Allen's tight, so let me snug up these other 5. All right, there they are, bolted together. So I'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and take our lock handle out of here. we'll get ready to put the shaft down in there, all right? I'll bring you back. All right, well, we got our cherry picker in here. And got the shaft out of the lathe. Got our eye bolt in there, so let's see if we can go ahead and pick this sucker up. I'll just use these shackles here. They were already on here, so we'll just use them. Okay. We could extend it on out, give us a little more room. Half ton right here, which we may end up having to do. Maybe not. Might clear it. I was just looking at the leg spacing down here. So, probably move you guys so that you get a little better field of view. I'm going to be kind of blocking it right here, trying to use this stupid jack. They put this thing in the most awkward position, I think. The one we used to have was go out this way so you could stand behind it and pump it. All right, there it is. All right, let me move you guys. Wow. Should have oiled that jack right there, making all that racket. Okay. You know, it's probably just going to be easier to move the base. Let's see if it'll line up. This stupid cherry picker, man, it's totally crooked. You know, the beam is positioned way over here. It's not even centered on this thing, so. Import quality, I guess. Got to go up a little more. See what I'm talking about, man? This is frustrating as can be. This old cherry picker has given me problems ever since the day I bought it. So, did you guys catch that? What I did wrong? I was getting ahead of myself, and I forgot I needed to install the bearing. I need to set the bearing on there. So, let me pick this up. I'm going to reset here, and see how that thing's kicked to the side? It's really aggravating. Alright, I think we're ready to try this again. The top brace is still stuck in there, and it's because of the oil behind it. I can actually spin it, but that oil has got it sucked to that face in there, so I haven't messed with it. I left it in there. Alright, so we've got the ball bearings and the bottom race there, and all I did was I just very lightly put that clamp on there, just so that it'll hold it up and I can get this started down in there. And we'll get it down in there kind of close, and I'll remove everything. This is where I could use a helping hand, actually. Okay, let's get her down in there a little bit. All right, I want to go ahead and take that clamp off, get it out of the way. It's not on there very tight, just enough to hold that bearing. And we have the neighbors again out here. Making all kind of noise. Okay. Come on. The sideways cherry picker, man. I think it's sitting on that bottom bushing crooked a little bit. I'm gonna have to take a little slack off of it. Come on, go down. All right. At least that'll catch it there. Go. Go. All right. Real quick, I want to put a little bit of oil on that bearing right there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of whey oil. Not much. It should be enough there. All right, let's send her home. All right, there it is. This piece of junk out of the way. All right. Here we go. Nice. All right, we'll get this out of the way. All right, I guess you know what's up next. We'll let's go ahead and we'll put our T-handle in here. So we'll be almost complete. That's nice. All right, guys. I'm gonna get the faceplate out. I need to clean it again. It's got dust on it. Blow the threads out real good, and we'll get it hung with a couple eye bolts and pick it up with this cherry picker and see if we can get it screwed on there. Okay. All right, we're getting ready to pick this sucker up. I got it cleaned off and blow it out good. What I've done is I still had two T-nuts for 3/4 inch studs. I found those, and I've got my eye bolt screwed down there. I've also got some nuts, and I've got them tightened down on here so they're jammed in so they won't move around. All right, I got a couple shackles, and what we'll do is bring the cherry picker over here and hook a strap to it. And I've got another eye that's attached to the crane that will swivel, so I should be able to pick this up and spin it. So let's get it hooked up and get it in the air. Believe it or not, every time you want to try to do something like this and make some progress, everything else in the world comes up that you got to do, so it keeps you from doing what you want to do. Had several interruptions and just trying to get this done here. Okay, let's give that a shot. This is a violation against OSHA rules. If you have a rip or tear or any kind of mess up in a sling, you're supposed to throw it away and replace it. But this is the best one I could find around here. I don't have too many of them, and I believe it'll hold for what I'm doing here. This is going to be a challenge right here. It would help if I had somebody over here helping me, actually. Got to lock the shaft. Alright, I think we got her going. We got her started. Put just a little bit of whey oil up on these threads here. Alright guys, I think I can let off. I think I can let off of it now. No play in it. Alright, let me get a picture. Alright, I had to snap a couple pictures there for the video and to have some records of. Alright, I think it's safe to go ahead and let off this. I don't know why I keep going with it, but let's go ahead and take this off and go ahead and spin her up on there. Okay, we can use these as handles too, huh? Almost. I don't want to lock it on there real hard because of this just being a mock-up, but we'll just snug it up on there so we know it'll stay there. About it right there. There it is. Before I do that, let me take these off. Well, you got a better shot of it before I did. There it is. I I think that top oiler worked out just fine on its location there. So, all right, let's see how it spins. I'm gonna go ahead and unlock it. Man, look at that. All that mass on there really made a difference. That's pretty cool. What do you think? That's a hell of a coffee table, isn't it? That's just where I oiled the threads there, that whey oil. So you see I got a nice, not only do we use it for our lifting eye, I can do something in here. I thought about machining a plug of some sort possibly that'll go in there. I don't know. And that thing spins so easy. Very nice. We'll check it. You know, I'm not going to tighten this very much. With a little bit of a bump on that, I think that's going to lock it nice and tight to hold it together there. So we'll see how it'll roll. Little hard to move with them. Get the caster spun around. Not bad, guys. I think that's going to work out pretty good. So we'll do another test. We're going to see how close I got on my height. If you remember, the reason I made it this height was so that it would match my my welding table down there. So we'll get it rolled down there in a little bit and see how close it is. I tried to get it within a 16th. So we'll see. I want to go ahead and get the ground straps bolted on there, and I don't think it's going to make a difference on the resistance of this here, but I want to go ahead and get that done too, so that it's a full mock-up. All right, guys, here we are. This is what we were shooting for, was the matching height, and you can see I'm a little off right here, but what I have noticed is that I've gone around the edge of the table and I've measured it in different places, and you know, the concrete's not completely flat, but it varies about 1/8 of an inch. So I could actually move this down there and it'll be a lot closer to being level, but right here we're about 1/4 of an inch off. I think this might have been where I got one of my measurements right here. Let me show you. That's almost even right there. About a 16th difference. So we're close, and I think that's going to be close enough. I was sure hoping that it was going to be closer than that, especially down here. This is where most of your work will be. If I ever do want to transfer some work, getting those casters to turn around is what's a challenge on it. There's so much weight on it. But like I was saying, you know, this is kind of where most of your work would take place if you want to transfer over to this. So, I mean, that's not too bad. That's pretty close there. So, I got as close as I could. But we definitely got some variances there. If I really wanted to, I could set this shaft back up in the lathe and face it on the shoulder where the face plate shoulders up to the shaft. I could take it off there and then take the same amount off this if I wanted. But I don't want to because there's no need in it. That's gonna be good enough right there. And we're at a pretty good height so that I could use my got my other little stool here that I usually see me use whenever I'm doing some welding. That we're at a pretty good height there, a comfortable level where I can do some welding. Get off the table. Man, that'd be nice right there if you're, say, doing the vice pedestal again, man. You had it just clamped right there in the middle. You know, you get one side welded and move that sucker like that, and then you weld the other side and come on around. You go all the way around that thing. It's pretty sweet. All right, so I'm getting the two grounding straps bolted on now. I've got the first one on. Let's see if I can show it to you. I don't know if you can see it from there, but I don't have anything down here to hold the magnet right now. But anyway, we got the first one on there, so I'm gonna go around to the other side and get the other one bolted on. Okay. Okay, I got the ground straps bolted on and the spring mechanism on the end of it. It's all ready to go. Let me see if I can give you a better shot. Get you down close. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Got it bolted on. Okay. All right, guys, we got one more test before we call this thing a success, and that is I'm gonna strike an arc on it, and I'm gonna see how it works. I'm gonna do a stick weld on it. I got my 70/18s here, and I've got this this little plate right here that I put together a while back. And anytime I've got cousins or friends and we're hanging out and I'm trying to teach them how to weld, I let them run stringer passes on that, and that's what that is right there. That's welded on both sides, so I'm just going to go over that. I've got a clamp holding it down so it's nice and rigid there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'll probably go like this. I'll strike an arc here and start welding it, and I'm going to go ahead and rotate the table across that thing to see how our ground connects. Okay, this is going to be a true test to see if it works, and I have high hopes that it will, and I hope that it I hope I prove myself right here. So I've got a little bit of fire cloth down in the center here just to protect that shaft. I'm really not too worried about everything right now because everything can be cleaned, and it's going to be cleaned and painted before long. So let's go ahead and get started on it. I'm going to use our new Miller welding shield here, and we go turn the welder on and we'll get started. One of the accessories that I already see that I'm going to have to make is a stinger holder, not only for this but for a TIG torch. We need something that we can hang this on there, and I've got an idea for an accessory to go in the center out of some kind of tube that you can put rods in, you can put wire brush and you know, chip and hammer, things like that. Kind of make some kind of organization deal for that. Okay, let me turn the welder on. Okay, and I have not done this yet. I haven't cheated and done it off camera. I haven't struck the first arc. Make sure this is on. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm rotating the table a little bit. I think you might be able to see that. Going around with it. I'm just making sure that it's keeping the ground as I'm moving it. I think we did it, guys. I moved it. I don't know how far, I couldn't see it, but I moved it that way, and I brought it back that way, and it welded fine. One thing that I did forget was my glasses here. I'm having too much fun. I want to do it one more time, okay? I'm going to start over here and rotate the table again. Worked great. Tell you what I'd like to do real quick. I want to see if those bars are hot. Everything's just as cool as can be down here. Guys, I'm smiling because I think the table's a success, and it came out exactly the way I wanted it to, and I couldn't have asked for anything better than this. It's better than I thought it was going to be, and I just cleared the table off. I just did that little bit of welding. Still just as smooth as silk. You can't hear it. Doesn't make any noises. The way I've got the ground system coming up through there, I think it's perfect. It's working great. I'm going to enjoy having this. It's going to be a nice table. I think we might be able to start implementing this for some of our face-to-face video chat right here, you know, doing viewer mail or new tools or whatever. I think this would be pretty cool to use also. So, mock-up complete. All the machine work is done. So now I think I'm just gonna leave it together for a little while and just kind of admire it, because I've been waiting a long time to see this. What did we start this in? December or January? I can't remember now. Somewhere around the holidays, I think is when we started this. So here it is in March. So it's been kicking along pretty good, but I've been working on it a lot, almost every week. And I don't even know how many man hours I've got in this thing yet, but we still got quite a bit. So we're gonna do some polishing on the oilers. I'm gonna go ahead and get the emblem sent out to somebody and get the chrome plated going. I did decide that it's either going to be nickel or chrome, but I'm kind of leaning towards chrome. I still haven't decided yet. We're going to disclude copper because of the polishing issues there with it trying to you know, discolor on you. I'm thinking I might go chrome plating, but I have a viewer that actually works at a plating shop, and they said that they would do a nickel coat for me for free. So I think what I'm going to do is send them one of the other cutouts that Keith Fenner made for me, and we're going to do a test on it to see how it looks. And it's not so much that I want to test their quality, it's how I feel about the way the coloring is going to come out on it. So once I do that, I'll kind of make a decision. It's either going to be nickel or chrome. And so we'll have a couple more videos. We'll do one with some painting. We'll try to throw all that into one video, some painting, and then we'll do another final build. And then the last video will probably be putting the A-Bomb 79 badge on it after it's plated. So I hope that you guys have been continuing to enjoy this just as much as I have, because I have been enjoying it. And we'll see you on the next one, okay? Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you real soon. All right, you ready for it?